As Montana hit another one-day record for newly reported COVID-19 cases, Governor Steve Bullock said today that the worst may not be over and that high numbers will continue to be reported in the coming days and weeks. But he and a top business official also said Montanans can still act to slow the virus, and a big part of that effort is wearing a mask in public. On the day when Montana reported 67 new COVID-19 cases, its highest one-day total yet, Governor Bullock said he's worried Montanans are letting down their guard. He said that 6 weddings and their related gatherings have led to at least 24 cases and impacted 2 other states. The governor said people need to avoid large gatherings, or if they are around other people, wear face masks. When asked why he's not requiring the wearing of masks in public places, Bullock said he'd like it to become a socially accepted necessity rather than a requirement. Toward that end, the president of the Montana Chamber of Commerce also appeared alongside the governor at a Capitol News conference and said many businesses are calling on people to increase their use of face masks in public. Todd O'Hare said the business community doesn't want Montana to follow in the footsteps of other states and that we have had to reinstate closures of some establishments.
Government grants, low-interest loans, business bailout dollars cannot compare to healthy economic activity. Businesses will not be able to survive in Montana without a healthy economic activity in the state. And healthy economic activity is founded on a healthy population.
We don't have to be like these other states and take steps backwards if we again raise our guard. And one of the most important ways we can raise that guard is to make wearing a mask a habit and normalized.
Now, Bullock said he's still hopeful Montana can keep its number of cases from increasing greatly or even decline in the not too distant future. Well, the governor's office today released a set of guidelines for Montana public schools to follow as they consider how to reopen in the fall amidst the COVID-19 pandemic. But so did the state superintendent of public instruction, and she's not exactly happy about the double set of plans. Earlier this afternoon, State Superintendent of Public Instruction Elsie Arntzen, a Republican, released a 40-page set of guidelines on how schools may reopen this fall. Within the hour, however, Democratic Lieutenant Governor Mike Cooney unveiled a separate set of reopening recommendations developed by the governor's office. Arntzen told MTN News that she spoke with Cooney 3 weeks ago and told him that officials should have a unified plan. She says the governor's office going ahead on its own is a poor way of doing government. However, she says she'll include the governor's recommendations with information that she sends out to school districts this summer. Governor Bullock said since he had given the directive to close schools in March, it was thought it was important for his office to issue guidelines on reopening. Both documents are a list of recommendations that school districts can choose to follow as they decide how and whether to reopen this fall. Well, this looming fear of coronavirus can take a mental toll on even those of good mental and physical health. So for those recovering from addiction and their support staff, coronavirus can be extremely triggering. MTN's Lindsay Hyatt met with 2 Great Falls addiction centers to discuss how recovery centers and patients have managed to recover from coronavirus setbacks.
For most places of business, closed doors are mainly a financial stressor. But for independently owned recovery centers, changes in operation cause emotional and physical stresses as well.
Everybody was locked at home, and mental health issues, addiction issues, abuse issues. I mean, everything was going sky high.
While patient accountability was getting low.
When COVID hit, our no-show rate went to, in some aspects, 50%.
After switching to telehealth, Gateway Community Services saw fewer patients and smaller profits.
We were getting paid 50% of what we're used to, but I still have all the same costs.
Fortunately, not all recovery centers closed. Seeking Recovery LLC tried to maintain operations as usual.
We had to disband groups, but we remained open. We remained open for face-to-face contact, face-to-face counseling.
These in-person services helped patients continue on their path to recovery and improved business. Both centers said since COVID, there's been a significant increase in patients.
We're full, and we get more every day coming through the door.
There's been an influx of people calling and walking right off the street.
Likely due to lack of accountability and other anxiety-inducing factors many addicts faced during COVID.
A lot of people have not only drug addiction but mental illness, and so that isolation really affects them. It also gives them the opportunity to, if there's no accountability, to go ahead and use.
Should coronavirus cases increase, the centers will continue to guide their patients through recovery.
What a perfect opportunity to teach them how to go through something without using, then actually walking them through the event as it's happening.
In Great Falls,
there's other ways to deal with stuff.
Lindsay Hyatt.
We're all in this together.
MTN News.
The Montana Department of Public Health and Human Services has released their child fatality report for last year. In 2019, 17 children died that were known to Montana's child welfare system, and an additional 7 that were not. For children known to CPS, the leading causes of death were unsafe sleep, a medical condition, and abuse or neglect. For children unknown to CPS, drowning and abuse or neglect were the leading causes of death. The state has already taken steps to help prevent similar deaths by distributing safe sleep cribs, working with FWP to provide life jackets at popular swimming areas. And Deputy Director Laura Smith says, especially when it comes to water, always make sure there's a watchful eye on children.
Really encourage families, caregivers, babysitters to be emptying sources of water in the home immediately after use. That includes bathtubs, wading pools, and any freestanding water.
DPHHS also strongly encourages people to report cases of child abuse or neglect. The Montana Abuse and Neglect Hotline is a toll-free number, 866-820-5437. The call could potentially save a life. Well, statistics from the Montana Highway Patrol show July and August are the deadliest months on Montana roads. In 2019, 49 people lost their lives in Montana crashes. MTN's Phoenix O'Connor looked at what people hitting the highways can do to stay safe this summer.
It's 4th of July weekend. I understand you might be thinking about getting out of town. One of the most popular choices is hitting the roadways on a good old-fashioned road trip. So here's just some safety reminders on how to stay safe on the roadways.
Right now we're sitting at 85 fatalities in the state of Montana just now. That's 10% over where we were last year. That's a huge increase. We look at those 4 days of the 4th of July, we average over 130 crashes, 4 fatalities, upwards of 35 DUIs that'll occur across the state in those 4 days.
Of course, with the 4th of July week coming up, we're right in the middle of that. And the top 3 contributing factors to fatalities and serious injuries and crashes in Montana are consistently impaired driving, lack of seatbelts, and vehicles leaving the road.
As I always tell everybody, it's the cheapest life insurance you'll ever get by just clicking that seatbelt.
MHP troopers will also be looking out for speeders on the highway.
Montana's a great place to live. It's going to be a beautiful weekend. Slow down and enjoy.
Consistently, impaired driving is involved in about 60% of the fatal crashes.
If you do happen to see someone driving that you may think is impaired, call 911.
Give the description of the vehicle, if they can get a license plate. Never put yourself in danger, meaning if someone is traveling in an erratic manner, don't try to copy them and follow them where they're going.
And if you do happen to have a little too many drinks,
car at the bar, don't drink and drive. Don't endanger yourself or others.
Using a rideshare companies is another option, or ask your bartender if the bar participates in a home-free program. In Helena, Phoenix O'Connor, MTN News.
Experts are asking pet owners to be vigilant over the 4th of July holiday. The celebration leads to more lost pets than any other day of the year. Experts say July 5th is one of the busiest days at animal shelters. Many pets get scared from their homes by the unfamiliar noise of fireworks, while others flee because homeowners and guests can become careless during Independence Day celebrations.
Having picnics or barbecues, they've got guests coming in and out of the house, so that's one thing, we hear a lot of is, my aunt left the door open and the dog got out, or the kids are running in and out of the yard and left the gate open. Secondly, the fireworks, it's a different noise to them. It's loud. It can be scary to some animals, and they, even in a fenced yard, they'll try and jump out and run and hide somewhere.
Animal Control suggests microchipping your pets so you can be more easily reunited if the pet gets lost. They also encourage talking to your vet about anti-anxiety medication that may make the holiday less stressful, and they say keeping pets inside during fireworks celebrations decreases the chance of scared animals running away. The 4th of July weekend, it's fast approaching. For a first look at what we can expect weather-wise, we send it over to our good friend, Elizabeth Copeland. Elizabeth?
Hey there, I'm meteorologist Elizabeth Copeland. We have been traveling around parts of the eastern part of the country, so that's why I'm working from home, filling in for you guys for the next couple of days. So let's get down to it. Great Falls, Helena, central eastern Montana looking pretty good for the next couple of days. So for our 4th of July weekend forecast, we're all looking forward to that. We're going to have a lot more of the sunshine, at least for Friday, besides a few isolated storms that are going to pop up here and there. One of the warmest days of the week, still looking to be Friday afternoon. By Saturday evening, strong storms are going to move in, some of those stronger to severe, which we'll be tracking for you in our extended outlook. And then on Sunday, only a few spotty showers here and there. So right now, not too much activity. Most of those stronger storms staying off into North Dakota, but we will start seeing a few more of those showers pop up right along the line just between Helena and Glasgow as we head through tomorrow afternoon. We'll track all that and more for you coming up in our extended forecast. We'll have more on that 4th of July outlook.
Thanks, Elizabeth. And as the pages continue to turn on the pandemic, the Great Falls Library is implementing some new safety measures. Find out what's new after the break.
Powered by the Montana Television Network. The 5:30 news continues on Montana's news leader.
Welcome back. COVID-19 cases continue to rise in Montana, and the Great Falls Public Library will take steps in an effort to mitigate its role in the spread. MTN's Isaiah Dunk tells us how.
Starting next Tuesday, July 7th, the Great Falls Public Library will require anyone who comes into the building to wear a face mask to help prevent the spread of the novel coronavirus. Library Director Susie McIntyre said it wasn't an easy decision, but was necessary based on the consistently increasing number of COVID-19 cases in the state.
We definitely are always try to be data driven. You know, we're librarians, so we're really about the information, and so we're following the guidelines of the Centers for Disease Control and the City County Health Department. Our staff are interacting with a lot of different people throughout each day, and you know, if we didn't have hundreds of people coming in and out of the library every day, it would be a little less of a concern. But because so many people use the library and use our services, we really need to make sure that we're not exposed.
Children under the age of 12 are exempt from the policy, but they must be supervised by someone older who can adhere to social distancing rules. McIntyre said the library will provide masks at the front door if patrons are not already wearing one. Library staff have been required to wear masks since reopening, and hand sanitizer is widely available throughout the building.
If you are unable to wear a mask or unwilling to wear a mask, we're still happy to serve you. We have curbside service. You can place holds online. You can call us and place holds. You can use our downloadable materials. We have story time and toddler time online. We're providing a lot of service. You can call us and we'd be happy to tell you what we can do for you.
In Great Falls, Isaiah Dunk, MTN News.
Great Falls Public Library encourages people to call or email with any questions and to follow them on social media for updates.
All right, we're going to be tracking a lot more sunshine for our 4th of July weekend forecast to start out with, but we are going to track some stronger storms here coming up in our extended outlook.
Now, here's your Storm Tracker weather forecast with Elizabeth Copeland.
Hey everyone, I am back at home, working from home after traveling for a little while. So actually I'm going to be working from home for a couple weeks. Feel fine though, actually feeling pretty great just for the safety of coworkers. Going to kind of self-quarantine here for a few days. So getting right back down to central and eastern Montana weather though, man, what a great day for it. Plenty of sunshine after a pretty rainy start to the week and cooler. And check this out, look at this departure from normal, and this is for Great Falls. We were on a nice warm trend actually for a while there, and we took a huge drop to well below normal, 25 degrees below normal in fact, on 6/29. Now we're on that slow climb right back up to normal now. As of today, we are just 4 degrees below normal, but for the weekend, finally going to jump above average once again. So warmer weather is to come. We're on the track already. Just from yesterday, it's already a 19-degree warm up right now, warmer than it was this time yesterday in Lewistown. The rest anywhere between 5 and 10 degrees. So warmer weather is on the way, and that's all because of that sunshine that's out there. Not too many clouds in the sky. Actually, stronger storms are staying off in the North Dakota area, so we only have a few very light showers just west of Glasgow. Other than that, we're seeing a lot of sunshine out there in north central and northeast Montana. So as you head out the door tomorrow morning, that sunshine is going to be bright and it's going to come out early once again, and we're looking at warmer and sunnier conditions once again tomorrow. Not too many clouds to start today, and then we're going to get back up to the 80s. So we're still on that warming trend as we head through tomorrow afternoon, but we do have some more activity in the forecast for us storm-wise heading into the weekend. So the next few hours, enjoy that high pressure, all those clear conditions. It's really not until Saturday afternoon. That's where we're going to start seeing those couple of storms here and there pop up and fizzle out. Very summer-like, especially for north central, northeast Montana. So marginal forecast for severe weather for us for all the way from Great Falls, Bozeman up to Plentywood, and that means we can see some short-lived, very isolated, stronger to severe storms there. Now, as we head, as we head into Saturday and then Sunday, we're actually going to see a little bit more of that activity really ramp up for us, which means we're going to have a little bit more of that hail, wind, and lightning. So definitely a time to keep an eye on the forecast as we head for the next couple of days, just because of that marginal risk in the forecast for us for Saturday. So we're going to have some of those storms popping up, especially in the afternoon hours for our 4th of July forecast. So great time to get out there and download our KR weather app, especially if you are heading outdoors, especially to the lakes Saturday and Sunday. Now for our 6 to 10 day outlook, we're actually going to look about average for dry and wetter conditions. So right about average on track for us for that precipitation outlook. Now for temperatures, we're going to have a little bit more of the cooler air starting to settle in for western Montana, about average conditions for central and eastern Montana with those temperatures. So we're going to have a lot more of those cooler conditions heading toward our forecast really in the 8 to 14 days. So until then, enjoy the 80s in the forecast, at least Friday, Saturday. Again, Saturday, July 4th. It's the Saturday evening forecast we're going to keep an eye on, especially for stronger to severe storms. Like I said, they'll be isolated throughout north central and northeast Montana. Now, as we head into the Helena area, a couple of those stronger storms definitely a possibility on Saturday, but to be in the weekend at least, be at 78 degrees, holding steady right about average with that sunshine and summer storms here and there through the rest of next week.
Thanks, Elizabeth. Well, while many Montana theaters remain closed because of COVID concerns, it's full screen ahead for one historic Montana movie house. We'll take you there next.
Powered by the Montana Television Network. The 530 News continues on Montana's News Leader.
It's been about a month and a half since Montana movie theaters were allowed to reopen. While some box offices remain boarded up, others are gladly sharing their screens. I went to one small town where the big picture is back.
On a Saturday summer night, people in Conrad, Montana are returning to a sense of normalcy by going to the movies.
We reopened June 5th. And the movie that we showed was Jaws.
Although Montana theaters were given the go-ahead to open May 15th, the historic Orpheum Theater waited a while to draw the curtain.
We just felt, as a group, maybe waiting till June to kind of see, how others fared, and it looks like we all pretty much fared about the same.
Milk chocolate M&Ms.
So far, the crowds have been what they expected, about 35 to 40 people per weekend. Before COVID, the crowds were about 60 to 65 per weekend. The stay-at-home order gave the crew an opportunity to perform a deep clean, including the difficult task of cleaning the theater's chandelier. In preparation for reopening, they strictly adhere to health department guidelines, including safe social distancing.
We've divided out the rows, every other row. We do have a couple of handicap accessible chairs, so I wanted to make sure that those rows were left open.
The Orpheum has been a part of Conrad's history for more than 100 years. Ironically, it opened the first time during the height of a pandemic.
The theater was built in 1918, and as a string of Orpheum theaters, across the country, that seemed to be the general name. When it was purchased by the Ponderay Arts Council, it was in pretty sad condition. The ceiling was falling in. The roof needed to be replaced.
A generous grant from the Wiegand Foundation funded renovation of the current Art Deco style and included a stage expansion.
So in 2012, we went digital.
Movies are the main attraction, but other cultural events add to the Orpheum's intrigue.
Musical performers, Padre players to do plays on the theater, Shakespeare in the Park, Missoula Children's Theater.
While moviegoers anxiously await the new releases, they're still giving 2 thumbs up to some new classics.
Yeah, you guys excited to see the movies?
Yes.
Maybe COVID isn't the showstopper we thought it was.
The theater did have to furlough some employees for about a month. They did receive a payroll protection grant, and due to adhering to safety guidelines, they have actually hired now additional staff. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
So there's going to be a few spotty showers here and there on Friday. Saturday is going to be the day we're going to be looking out for those stronger severe storms on Saturday night, especially for your outdoor 4th of July plans. Now, isolated thunderstorms are going to stay in the forecast through next week. We're going to take a slight drop in temperatures through Tuesday, but really these storms are going to be summer-like and just really pop up and fizzle out through those afternoon hours.
All right, thanks for joining us. We'll see you back here tonight at 10.